Sebastian, you are the Director IT CTO at the Volksbank. You're responsible for the IT platforms and all the shared IT services from the Volksbank, and also the entities like SNS Bank, ASN Bank, My Bank actually, Regiobank, or is this privacy issue?
No, it's good that you joined us.
It's good, eh? It's good.
We appreciate
okay.
that, yeah.
Regiobank, because you're not a generative AI robot, right?
Not at this moment.
Not at this moment, okay. And BLG Wonen.
Yes.
Yes. Well, thank you also, Wouter and Parimal, for your very interesting story about how to implement the platform teams. And let me start with you directly then, Sebastian, because well, Parimal and Wouter, they spoke mainly about platform teams for test automation, but you are responsible, the lead for a whole platform IT hub. So do you recognize the resistance against platform teams like Parimal and Wouter are describing?
I do recognize, but it's also specific to specific topics. Being responsible for all the shared IT services, we also provide them services that are not negotiable, right? You could say laptops, end-user devices, servers, data centers are something you just use. There's no choice in that. But the moment it becomes difficult is when there are engineers, like Parimal also told, is where they have a choice to embark or not to embark.
Yeah.
And I think that's where the resistance comes whenever they do not see the added value of the components that are being produced, or indeed, like you mentioned, Wouter, is about the not invented here syndrome. I didn't build it, so why would I use it? I can do better.
Yeah. But you also say the added value, because does everyone agree that platform teams, that they really pave the way in the organization to more efficiency and faster and higher quality? Is it a kind of, does everyone agrees on that?
Not always. I think you can have a team that starts by building components, and those components are not instantly usable for a specific team. And I think the most important part is that you judge them as clients or users, and that you keep on listening to their demands and requirements, so that they are also integrated into the product. And then it all of a sudden becomes their product also, and it will be used far better.
Yeah, so it's also about ownership.
Ownership, adoption, and interaction specifically.
Yes, and working on the same, on a common ground.
Yeah, so in the end, at the Volksbank we say we work for our clients. So our clients in outside of the bank, right? So everybody in the community. I also tell my teams, you're also working with your colleagues, but they also are, in a way, a customer of your products. So keep on reminding them that it's a product that you need to productize. And so you do marketing, you do support, but you also do extensive, let's say, understanding of what's necessary to help.
You're telling your teams that are the DevOps teams or the Agile teams? Sorry, the platform teams.
Yeah, so my hub or tribe, as also known in other banks, it comprises of teams that deliver platform service to the rest of the company.
Okay.
So DevOps teams are using my products.
Yeah. Because Parimal, I'm also wondering, because you told us that the platform teams are paving the way, but do people like paved ways, or do they actually prefer the more, bumpy roads?
It's also, people do like paved road, but you know the mindset of the developer. They always try to make their own stuff. They don't like to use the stuff which is thrown to them. It's also, here, the thing is, they want to build something of their own. They want to have their own baby. But when they go on a paved road, they need to see the advantage. And there is a way, the organization has to show the way to the developers that if you go to paved road, you have advantage. Otherwise, if you keep doing your own stuff, you can keep doing for ages, but your added value is less.
Yeah.
Because you are doing everything, trying to do everything.
I can understand that, but the added value is less. But of course, as well as a psychologist, I always know that the resistance is always there because people are afraid to lose something. So what are the DevOps teams, what are they afraid of? What will they lose if they're going to work with the platform teams? Are they losing their creativity? Are they losing their freedom?
Autonomy.
Yeah, part is autonomy. If you look at the added value is mainly also on organizational level. So if you centralize certain activities or tooling, then on organizational level, it's more efficient and it's cheaper, maybe sometimes.
That's an organizational argument.
Yeah. So, but if you look on team level, on an individual DevOps team, then they have to follow a standard, and that limits their freedom or their number of choices that they have. Mm-hmm. And in the end, the creativity should be, I think, in the product that they're developing, and not so much as in the tooling that they're using it. Mm-hmm. So it's mainly a mind shift in the team as well, that you can still be creative and you have still freedom, but then more in the business value that you're creating, instead of building your own tools to support your
And is that true, or is there also a possibility that if you only serve the client and making a good product, that in a way you are also rehearsing the things you're already doing, so that you don't have the freedom anymore to really develop something, to be creative?
So you mean it becomes more like a factory?
Exactly, exactly.
Yeah. I doubt it, honestly. I think it also is all about the storyline that you give them. So if you tell them, look, you're doing this for your customers, the added value is indeed in the customer value that creates, so new features. And it's not on the technology that you're using underneath. For engineers, I agree, it's nice to learn. It's interesting to add additional skills. But after a while, that becomes the business as usual. And in the end, you get appraised for, which is also a culture change. You need to appraise them for the fact that they add value towards customers that are really using the product.
Yeah, and with this philosophy, it works at the Volksbank.
Yeah, so we really focus on creating paved roads, golden paths we called it. Different brands, but other same concepts, to move to, let's say, autonomous products that people can use like Lego bricks to build the overall castle that you want to provide to customers, for instance, on the outside. And it could be, so my scope is 29 topics with around 40 teams that work on distinct products that in the end build up to that customer features that are adding the value. So if you notice, we're building the new application or the app on the mobile phone.
I haven't noticed.
Not yet,
no, not
but
yet.
That's good. But there is a new version out. So I think we need to do a little more adoption on the business side. But it's more about, okay, look, we change stuff. There's new features. And that's where you startle your customers, not with the new technology in the background. Can I do other transactions? Can I do other savings?
Yeah.
Can I observe my mortgage grow? It can all... stuff like that.
And I can also, because you also told us in your presentation that for the teams, for the platform teams, you also need experienced people with the product knowledge, but also with a marketing background. So they are highly experienced, they have different skills, they know also how to market their knowledge and the things they do. So how easy is it with the current labor market to find those people?
I think honestly it's difficult, but I also believe that the mix is important. So you cannot say I only want the most mature experts. I want a good mix of people that have a fresh mind, like juniors joining the team, and you have the expert to make them grow. And because what I also learned, and we have 2 new trainees, for instance, on the team, 25, just out of school, and they're now giving us insights that we've never seen before. Because did you think about that in that sense? And also mixing skills and generations, and female, male, but it could be anything. In the team really adds value to, let's say, the different insights that you put into the product.
Okay, so it's not only the experience that counts, but also the mindset.
The diversity, yeah.
And what would you say on this topic if you look at the current labor market?
Yeah, well, I fully agree that it's still challenging. On the other hand, also, if you have this seniority in your platform teams, then other teams can benefit from that as well. I was talking about one-on-one coaching as well. So from your platform teams, then this seniority is also spreading and helping your product team. So I think it would be even more challenging if you have the same level of standards for experience for also the product teams. Of course, there you want experience levels as people as well, but then you get this nice mixture of experience and different technologies also. So I think in the other hand, it's also a bit of a way to bring it more together and use this expertise in an efficient way.
Yeah, and could you say if you have like a vacancy for the job, like, well, this person really fits a platform team, and this person really, fits a product team. What would you say? What kind of competence do you need in a platform team, and what kind of competence do you need in a product team?
Well, one of the things I think to keep in mind is where the interest of people lay. So if you really want to work on a client-facing application, then maybe not start with the platform team, but join a product team. But if you're more looking at, okay, how can we make an efficient operation, and how can we focus more on the technology stack, for example, now that is interest for people maybe more in the platform organization. So, I think it's mainly also depending on what type of environment you want to work in.
Okay, and the ability to work together. Yeah. Okay, well, let's see. Also, for our people here live at the Fabriek, do you have any questions about platform teams, how to implement platform teams? Do you agree that's difficult, maybe? Who does agree? Everyone? Yeah, I'm not coming with the microphone. So, who thinks it's difficult to implement platform teams? Okay, great. And do you have any questions for our gentleman here? Yeah, you do? Well, here it is. I'm going to catch it to you, or to you. Maybe you can... Okay. Oh, great. Thanks. So please tell us who you are, if that's not too much privacy.
Sure. Bob Zandvliet, test automation consultant for Society as well. So I was really wondering, Sebastian, how did you start with the team within Volksbank?
So what we did is earlier on define, let's say, the products that we think are necessary to support the whole bank. So take the product inside, our product outside in view, and based on that we decided on who can join, let's say, those teams. So it was an open opportunity for people to join us. And based on selections, we built the teams that were necessary to start building that, and really kept the end goal in mind. So, okay, we're going to provide these services. What do we need? What kind of profiles do we need? And how do we start selling that also? Internally, it's not. There's no money involved, but in the end, selling it to the other teams to start using it. And also coming back to your previous question on that, I'll answer the rest. I hire for mindset. So specifically,
you hired for mindset?
I hired the guys for mindset. So the can-do mentality in this sense is really important. And then all of a sudden the marketing aspect will also be very applicable. Because the moment you can start showing your pride on delivering the products that are there, it will sell itself. And you also see that there are teams now that are not the most experienced people in those teams. But in the end, they can tell, they can tag along with other teams, they can listen, they can learn, and they will develop whilst going forward. And that's how we started that journey also. Yeah. So
in the start, what was there also something that you really learned, like a failure or a mistake? That you think, okay, if I had to do it again. Can you share one with us?
I think the biggest change that we made, we had an old school organization set up at that time. So there was a development team, big group, and there was an ops or system management team. And they had to be merged, because if you start blending blood groups or amending them, you will see that they will start understanding each other. But it's not an easy task, because a developer doesn't want to do a run, and the system management guy doesn't want somebody from dev to touch their system, right? That's in essence what you guys recognize. I can see some nodding heads, so that's good. So what we did is also put them together in one team, make sure that there's a responsibility for a specific product, and in the meantime also mix in people that will provide generic services, let's say platform teams or components, that will be used in reaching those goals.
And putting them together, how do you do that? I mean, is that like you have a team event for it, or just put them together and just go and work with it, or
no, for us it was a change management activity. So we did do, of course, a reorganization. really saying, okay, you're not two distinct groups anymore, you combine it in one, and then make sure that everybody has its own responsibilities and start teaching them also to work together. So there's clear agile coaching involved, and also technology coaching is involved.
Because
so also
mixing those two blood groups, or maybe 3 or 4 blood groups, that's really a tough job.
Activity, yeah.
Yeah. So how long did it take?
I think the journey is never done. And we're now down the path for 1.5 years. And you can now finally see after a year, I think, and Wouter was there with us also, that the benefits were reaped already. But now focus on testing. There's, for instance, CI/CD standards and also products, standardized building blocks, cloud components that you could use.
And not invented here, that's not an issue anymore.
I think it's always an issue, but it's also about showing the value of those products and showcasing that they can speed up their delivery and therefore their impact and their output.
Okay.
And that helps.
Okay, great. Nice question. There's a question also over here. You can throw the mic. Yeah, great. So tell us who you are, please.
I'm René Bijl. I'm RTE voor de Belastingdienst. Mijn vraag is, wij zijn bezig in het opschalen van 2 treinen. Sorry, not speaking English. We're scaling up from 2 trains to a large solution. And we're also scaling up our platform teams to a platform art. How do you do that? Do you still keep a system team per art? Or do you just put all the system teams in one platform art?
Wow, that's a big question. How do you do it?
Yeah. Well, as Sebastian was also mentioning, there are different topics that you can do from a platform team. And for example, if you look at more like CI/CD pipelines, then that can be quite generic across the whole organization. Of course, you have to take into account the tool stack and the languages that are being used, but you can really centralize that good. What we see with test automation, in the end, you can also go across multiple arts, but that really needs a growth model. So that often it's good to start within one release train and from there build upon and start helping different release trains. But that has a slightly different growth path in that sense. What really is key to see, okay, where are they standing in their agile maturity? If there's a lot of differences in agile maturity between the different release trains, then it's harder to get them together. And then you first have to invest in the maturity of the release train itself, and then you can bring more in the paved roads. That's what I noticed.
And is agile maturity, is it an advantage or a disadvantage in this manner?
In general, I think it's an advantage. Okay. Because what you see, if teams become more agile, mature, to put it in that way, you see that they understand that it's some sort of uniform way of working is also beneficial for them, because they can also learn from another team which has similar experiences, and they can more easily collaborate with other teams. And you see in teams that are starting their agile journey and are less mature, they really want to do it all themselves, and they think, oh, we're autonomous, so we're on our own.
Yeah, and maybe they also think that that's what the people or what everyone expects from us.
Also, that's also sometimes the message that is being shared. Indeed, yeah.
Okay, thank you for your question. And there is somebody else behind you who also has a question. Yeah, throw it away. Great.
Thank you. My name is Lavinia Miku. Well, I have a question, I think, for Marco. Well, it's about how they work, about the platform team. They have a backlog. They have also kind of product owner, someone who does priorities, or they have only internal stakeholders or also external stakeholders, or only DevOps teams are the stakeholders for this team.
Okay, so the roles actually, you're asking about the roles?
I'm asking how they work inside the platform team, if they have a backlog. I mean, if and who is doing that?
Okay.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, that's a nice question.
Is it clear? My
yeah,
question?
the question is very clear.
Actually, I asked many questions.
And so, in my previous assignment, I was a product owner of a platform team. So we were working in a complete agile way of working, where we had a product owner, we also have a flow master, and we have a dedicated team working with us. And our stakeholders were the consumers, and these consumers were the whole organization. So there were around 80 DevOps teams who are working, and they were our consumers. And then they were also giving their, what do you call, you can say the problem statement or where they're stuck and what they need help. And it was coming into our backlog, and we had a roadmap based on the backlog, and then we were handling all the backlog items based on our roadmap. Okay. So it was a complete agile team or a Scrum team where a platform team was working.
Yeah, maybe to add to that, because you also asked something about the stakeholders, what for the team I'm involved with. The stakeholders are, of course, engineers in the DevOps teams, but also stakeholders for us are people who are leading the cloud adoption. So you can really align with them because, yeah, cloud adoption is also affecting test automation. So then you're including more, these leads on those initiatives as a stakeholder, or people who are delivery responsible for a certain product or application, because they also have interest in how that product is delivered. So. And you have to tune your sprint review, for example, to your audience. So what we do is upfront we do share what will be the agenda of the sprint review, so that people know, okay, this can be interesting for me or not. And we sometimes invite people on personal notice, because we know, hey, this is a topic which is also concerning you. So please join. So your stakeholders are. Yeah, in multiple layers of the organization, but make sure that you address the message according to their interest.
Okay, well, good question, long answer. Because I've got one last question, and you both, the three of you have 10 seconds actually to give your answer. Because what would be your most learnable lesson so far in implementing the platform teams, which you want to share with our audience? So your most learnable lesson, Parimal.
Yeah, for me, I think the most important is to productize your, whatever you're doing, it's important to productize it. Make it as a product.
Okay, great.
In your platform team.
Thank you.
I'll put the emphasis on collaboration.
Collaboration.
Don't force it on top of them. Collaborate, okay. Yes.
Thank you, Sebastian. And Wouter?
Yeah, a bit in the same line, but really make the engineers of the team do the work for you. So it sounds a bit contradictional maybe, but don't do all the work as a platform team, but let the product teams also help there. Yeah,
so give everyone their role.
Yeah.
Great. Well, thank you very much for sharing your thoughts with us about the platform teams. Parimal Singh, Sebastian Kalshoven and Wouter Ruigrok. Thank you so much.